Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, 5-time Voice Arts Awards nominee, David Brower.
Thanks, Alan. This is David Brower with your 20-minute podcast. Our special guest from Sonoma County, California is Midori Verity, and she is a success coach, a best-selling author, a serial entrepreneur for 25 years, and she assists ambitious professionals with discovering their best path to excellence by breaking down mental barriers for rewriting their goals to success. Midori, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, David.
You bet.
Excited to be here.
So, breaking down mental barriers and rewriting their goals, that sounds complicated and something, but with that said, something everybody in business needs to take a look at, right?
It's something that all of us go through, no matter what you're doing. We all have these beliefs that we play in our head. I call them mental recordings that we play in our head. And so often those mental recordings aren't serving us. And those are the things that hold us back. Some examples of this can be thinking that you're not smart enough, or you're not educated enough, or you aren't, wealth is bad. There's all kinds of these beliefs that we have. Most of them come from our childhood.
Sure.
But what happens is subconsciously, we allow those to hold us back from what we consciously really want. And so we see so many people who have a PhD, a double master's, have gone through these incredible programs, extended programs, but they're still running into walls. They're not seeing the success that they should be seeing based on their level of knowledge, right?
Right. They're getting in their own way. They're getting in their own way because they don't know any different.
Exactly. And the problem is you work so hard to become wiser, right? Taking all these courses and hiring these amazing coaches and doing all these things. But then when your results don't reflect that, that becomes really, really frustrating. And that's where people start behaving smaller, and taking less risk and feeling more defeated, and their self-confidence goes down. So that's where I come in and work with people to change what we call belief patterns, behavioral traits, so that we can replace them so that they become something that is helping them get to where they want to go instead of impeding them. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the old days, we call them old tapes, right?
Yep. So
you're playing these old tapes in your head, these distractions in your head, these reminders, because you've heard them for so long and so many times that, doggone it, I actually believe it. And wow, you got a lot of things you got to work from the inside out before you can really start receiving what's going to help you grow, don't you?
You do, and that's the thing is some of the beliefs we're aware of. You know, my dad was a teacher, a high school teacher, and he grew up in the Depression. So he always told me that the wealthy people are evil and they're bad and money is terrible. And so I grew up with that mindset. And what happens is we create these what I call the personal book of laws. These are our own, and these are the laws that we abide by mentally. But as we grow and we want to become this amazing person, often those laws that are meant to protect us and help us feel safe cause us friction in our life and a disconnect. And so that's where we have to really become aware of what that belief is and then figure out how to change it.
And not to simplify it, but it seems to me that a lot of these things are based on self-esteem. You know, how do you feel about yourself?
Right. And, there are studies that show people who go into big depressions, people who contemplate suicide, it comes from wanting something, but not having the courage to go after it.
Gotcha.
So knowing that maybe you want to become a manager in your company, but you play small because mentally it is safer. That's your comfort zone. You feel, mentally you're telling yourself, I'm good here. I don't deserve that. I mean, whatever you're saying to yourself doesn't matter.
Right.
But when you don't take those steps to push yourself out of your comfort zone, your confidence goes down. And that's why this is such a big issue and a passion, quite frankly, because I've experienced it personally, and I've seen so many people experience it, including my kids, my family, my friends. But once you learn how to be aware of it and how to push through it, it's amazing the world that can open up for you.
So let's say I'm an ambitious professional and I have no clue how to get where you can help me to get to. What kind of ways, what kind of conversations do you start to have? I guess first and foremost, are they one-on-one situations? Or are they in groups? Are they in workshops? What's ideal?
I do it all.
Nice.
I host workshops all the time. I usually do about 3 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do one-on-one for those who are ready to really step it up and have a goal of what they want to achieve. Then that's the quickest way to do it. But there's a lot, I have my website. There's a lot of free content out there to help people at least get started. But really what I say is there's 3, I call them my 3 A's. Mm-hmm. And these are the primary steps to help people achieve more in life and start changing these behavior loops. So really simple. The first one is awareness. You have to be aware of what these beliefs are.
Right.
And one question you can ask yourself, I love this, it's kind of a power question. So what you want to think of is something that you have wanted to do, something you've wanted to be, something you've wanted to accomplish for a long time, but you haven't done it yet. So what you say is, I'd love to blank, but, and the reason why you haven't. And often that can start helping you unveil what that behavior is.
Oh, yeah.
What that belief is. And you just keep on asking yourself why. Okay, so why haven't I done this? And keep on going. And in there, you will find that negative wisdom that's so important to become aware of. Because once you can become aware of it, you can put it in your conscious mind and start changing it.
Absolutely.
And then the second A, it's so simple, but yet so many people live their whole life without becoming aware.
Yeah.
And it's very, very sad to watch. The second one.
Most of us don't like onions, and so we have a hard time peeling them back,
It's true, metaphorically and physically. Yes, that is very, very true. We want to say our brain, our rhetorical, the subconscious brain is there to protect us.
Yeah.
And so when we hold back or we stay in our comfort zone, it's because our brain is trying to keep us safe.
Yeah.
But now we don't have to be afraid of things like we used to when we were cavemen, right?
Right.
So by bringing it to your conscious brain, there's a lot of science behind this, but we don't need to go into it. You don't need to know that to be able to do this. But bringing it to your conscious brain gives you the power to overcome it. It's amazing how these little tools work so quickly and efficiently. So the second part of it is taking action. So the first one is awareness. The second one is action. Okay. If you have a business, if you have goals, you have to take action. I don't believe in just allowing the universe to bring it to you. I think there's another step to it. I do believe you have to take action.
Oh, come on. There's a silver bullet. There is. Come on.
That pill. I've been looking for the pill. I haven't found it yet. I have found that action is what really works for me and for my clients. So,
good call.
Yeah. And so, setting up 90-day goals, which they show are the most successful, making the action steps into bite-sized pieces. So you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I have to climb Mount Everest in 90 days because that's overwhelming and you're not going to do it and you're going to defeat yourself mentally before you even get started.
Yep.
So breaking into small chunks and then writing it down so you know what steps you need to take along the way. So that's the second thing, and just becoming really clear of what your goals are and mentally rehearsing it and seeing yourself there, writing it out into a story and seeing that success, what it feels like, what it tastes like, what it smells like.
Wow.
Just getting really clear, and then the steps to get there. And then the third part of it is accountability. And so what I mean by this, those of us who work out or want to work out and have hired a coach before, if you have an exercise coach, you know that you're going to show up, right? You're going to show up. They're probably going to push you to achieve more than you may have on your own.
Yep.
Right? I can't believe the things that my personal exercise coach can get me to do. And by myself, I'm like, no way. I feel like I'm going to die or throw up.
Oh,
but he gets me to do it anyway.
I need a latte, dude. Come on.
Right. Let's take a break. Let's go have a glass of wine real quick. And then also with those times when you're feeling a little bit low on energy, you're not motivated, you just don't have that umph behind you, which we all go through. So this can be in whatever part of your life. A coach, especially like an exercise coach, they're going to push you. So even when you don't want to do it, they're going to push you so that by the end of that hour, you're like, okay, got it. I'm back on track. Right? So you feel good.
Right.
So that's where accountability comes in. So if you incorporate those three techniques, you will be so much farther along.
Awareness, action, accountability, and are you the coach?
Oh, well, I would love to be the coach.
Of course,
but
you would
it doesn't have to be me. It could be, if you have a really strong group of friends who are all pushing themselves.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with those who are with similar mindsets.
Well,
but
and that's personal life, business life, professional life. I mean, you are, not to generalize it, but I believe you are who you surround yourself with.
Oh, and there's so much science behind that too.
Yeah.
It's not just Jim Rohn said it,
right.
But also, the other thing that I hear is not just surround the 5 people that you surround yourself with, but also I've heard this quote, show me the 5 people that you're around the most and I'll show you your future. Ouch.
Nice.
That can hurt.
I'll tell you a short story. We'll take a sidebar on a relationship deal with my wife. So I'm in Chico, California. My 5 best friends are women. I love them to death. I was raised by a single mom and her 5 sisters, so that explains a lot. But,
oh, yeah.
Right. So I meet my future wife and I tell her, I said, Karen, and she's met these 5 friends of mine. She said, I said, the reason I'm attracted to you, if you take the very best quality that I love, admire, and treasure out of each of my 5 friends, you have all 5 of those.
Oh,
and that was like, oh my God. And it was a real deal. And, I just gave my own self goosebumps. So I get what you're saying,
That's right. It's true. It's very, very true. And sometimes we're not in a situation where we do have those type of people around.
Right.
Us. So therefore, finding someone outside of your own little network that can help you get to a bigger place, higher elevated place that you really want to go.
And personally, I think that's you, right? Because if I'm an ambitious professional, which I guess I am, and I want to find more excellence and I want to get some mental beer, I have to take your metaphor of the exercise coach. I have to have a coach that I can trust, who has integrity, who has authenticity, that goes, come on, dude, you can do more with me than you can do by yourself. So here's the plan. We're gonna create some awareness. We're gonna develop an action plan, and I'm gonna hold you accountable. And let's get after it.
And let's do it. And it really is that simple. People complicate things and they come up with these giant business plans that nobody cares about, and it changes by the time you're done. Let's be honest. I've owned many, many businesses over the years, and just these 3 things help catapult you.
Oh my gosh.
So much quicker. And there are other parts of it, but
sure.
These are the basics.
And again, it's taking little bites and going, okay, I get awareness, I can do that. Action, okay, let's develop how to do that. Oh, and she's going to hold me accountable. Oh, okay. It's 1, 2, 3, okay. Let's go. It's not brain surgery. Let's get after it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
One thing that I talk about, I have this concept called the belief behavior loop effect.
Okay.
And what it is, and it just kind of summarizes everything that we're talking about. It makes it really conceptual. So we have these beliefs that we've talked about. They can be negative beliefs or they can be positive beliefs.
You bet.
And then you have the behaviors, and your behaviors are going to support these beliefs. Again, negative or positive.
Yep.
So if you're telling yourself you can't do something, guess what? Your actions are going to support that. And then, of course, your results are the same thing, and it becomes this giant loop, almost like a racetrack.
Sure.
So when you can create these beliefs that are serving you, then you're going to go around the racetrack, and you're going to have a lot more fun, and you're eventually going to be able to get off that racetrack and go to where you want to go and get to that destination.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Just a way to think of it.
I love that. Let's talk. One of the things I noticed that it's called the Mox Life, right? Are you sabotaging your success? Tell me about that.
Mox Life is a brand that I launched it about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And it's really a lifestyle brand designed to help ambitious professionals get to that next level where they are feeling fulfilled and prosperous and excited, but also not just prosperous in one area of their life, but in all areas of their life.
There you go.
Spiritually, mentally, physically. So each time when you wake up, your confidence is feeling good, you're giving back to the world, and you're giving to yourself too. And so that's really what Mox Life is all about.
Well, and it goes back, if I heard you correctly, it goes back to you helping them break those negative behavioral loops, and so that success follows them. I mean, it's another, I guess to me, it's another part of that AAA, simple steps, let's go,
It's all incorporated.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it all goes together.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and really the number one thing I want to say to people, because people will spend their entire lives doing that same belief behavior loop effect that's not serving them, and they're not getting to where they want. It doesn't take that much to change it. It's just a shift in your mindset and a shift in your behaviors, and that will catapult you to a whole new area and open up that gate to this new world. It's amazing. I went through it. That's why I teach this, and I know how debilitating it can be, and I know also what it's like on the other side. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, once you've been there, done that, feel the pain and the success, it makes it easier for you and for your clients to relate to the reality of, hey, I've done this, I can do this, I know you can do it too, let's go.
Let's go. I agree.
Yeah. So tell me, how do people get? I know it looks like you've got a workshop coming up. What's what happens in your workshop? You mentioned you do three of those a year or so.
Oh, 3 of them a month. I do.
A month. Oh my gosh! Hello.
A month. Yeah, I do a lot of them right now. So we just got done with a whole series in Southern California. Right now we're in Northern California. I do have a virtual one coming up. But what we do is we go through what we're talking about, defining what the negative behavior loops are that you have, figuring out what your big visions are and where you want to go, what it looks like, and how to set goals, and then also how to create that next part of it, how to create that accountability, so that you have all the tools that you need to get to where you want to go.
So people want to reach out to you. They want to keep tabs on when your next workshop, maybe virtual workshop, is coming up. Where's the best way to keep in touch with you, follow you, get some epiphanies, those kinds of things?
Yeah, the best place where everything is, blog posts, videos, a list of all the upcoming events, is at themoxlife.com. So it's THE and then M as in Mary, OXLIFE.com, and that's where you can find everything and get in contact with me as well.
Nice. There's a blog, places to contact, services about the whole deal, and the Lasting Success 90-day program, lifestyle packages, breakthrough. I mean, just everything is right there, folks. themoxlife.com, MOX, themoxlife.com. Midori, Verity from Sonoma County. I can't thank you enough, man. Congratulations on what you do and how you do it, and I mean, your energy and the way you communicate just speaks volumes and should give people some goosebumps along the way. It sure did me.
Oh, well, I appreciate you having me, and I hope we did impact a few people along the way as well. So thank you, David.
You bet.
Listen to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower on the go. Downloads are available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, any podcast app, and on our website at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thank you for listening.